Alright, well, as you can see, we are not charging the battery because my alternator in my Mustang is bad. So talk a little bit about multimeters here, show you what I did. So this is a pretty inexpensive multimeter. We have multiple things that we can test, hence the name multimeter. But for this video, we need to test voltage on the DC scale. So as you can see, it has a solid line and dashed lines with a V. So that's saying we're testing DC voltage. And then the V setting below it is a squiggly line, which is AC voltage, and we do not want that. So turn your dial to DC voltage, or set it however you need to set it to get to DC voltage. This is super easy to test. The red lead goes on the plus or the positive, and the black lead goes on the minus or the negative. Once we get in there like that, you can see that with the engine off, we actually are at 11 volts, and with the engine running, we are at like 10 point whatever it was, 10.8 volts I think. So it was not charging the battery. But that's okay, because today I'm going to show you how to replace an alternator. So in this video, I'm working on a 1995 Mustang with a 5.0 or a 302 in it. But these instructions will be very similar for most any vehicle. Might be in a worse location to get to or something like that, but basically every alternator has 2 bolts holding it on and a couple wires and a belt that drives it. So while your vehicle might not be a 1995 Mustang, in this case I think these instructions will get you by and probably get you through whatever you need to do on your car. So let's check it out. I'll show you what's going on. Alright, so this is our item in question right here. This is the car's alternator. As you can see, it's driven off of the serpentine belt. Mine has 3 connections on the back. We need a 10mm wrench to take this nut off. And then we have 2 plugs over here on the other side. It's kind of hard to video this because it's very sunny outside, but we have this wire right here, and then we have this bundle of wires right there, all of which we need to disconnect. So let's get started on that. First and foremost, before you do anything electrical on a vehicle, it's very important to disconnect the battery. We're going to be working with a wire that's directly connected to the battery from the alternator. That's how it charges the battery. And the last thing you want to do is make sparks and, potentially a fire or burn up a connector or something like that. So it's good practice to always disconnect the negative. The reason being, while I'm disconnecting the negative, if I were to happen, obviously this has a rubber grip on my ratchet, but if I were to happen to go like that and it were metal on metal, you don't have to worry about creating a short because you're only on the negative anyways, which is directly connected to the metal of your vehicle. So in my case, this is a 5/16, or I guess it'd be 8mm to disconnect the negative. Tuck that terminal down out of the way so that it can't possibly reconnect right here. That would be bad. So you can leave the positive connected. If you'd feel safer, you could definitely disconnect the positive as well. But I'm only going to disconnect the negative and we'll be fine with that. Next thing we have here is a 10mm nut to disconnect. Be careful you don't lose this nut. The new alternator, at least mine, does not come with a new one. So if you lose this, you're going to have to run to the parts store and buy something new, or hope you have something laying around from a previous project. So we'll take that 10mm nut off, set that off to the side, and there's a single wire connecting on there. Next thing we need to do is disconnect these 2 clips for the wires. Be very careful with these. In this case, this vehicle is old, it's 1995, and these clips are of course probably pretty brittle, and the last thing you want to do is break these off. But all I did for this one was stuck my little pick in here and lightly pried that back to get past the nub that it connects to, and we were able to get that one unplugged. And then the other one is here. Again, I'm lightly prying on it and get that one unplugged. This one's a bit bigger. 3 wire connections there. Now we're just going to lay these up out of the way. Again, you can see why we disconnected the battery. This is directly connected to the battery, so if this touched anything here that's metal, we'd be throwing sparks, and that may not be the best thing for it, so that's why we did that. The next step is to locate the belt tensioner and get the belt off of the alternator. I can't really get in here to show you exactly what I'm doing. I'll try and put a picture in the video to show you exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to use a long 3/8 ratchet, but they do make serpentine belt tools. Harbor Freight sells one for pretty cheap if you wanted to get one of those for your project. Would definitely help. But we just need to get the square end of the ratchet into the square of this belt tensioner. So we're prying this back so we can get the belt loose, like that, and take that off of the alternator, just like so. This one only has 2 bolts holding it on. In my case, 13mm, probably something different on your vehicle. But lefty loosey righty tighty for these. Oh, they're 2 different sizes because of course they are. So 13 and 15mm. Grab a little stubby wrench for this. It just can't quite turn it by hand, which is of course super annoying, but it always goes that way. And there's the second one down, obviously significantly longer. And my alternator actually has a ground wire on the back. Yours may or may not have that. Again, it was 10mm. Be careful not to lose the bolt on this. Was a 10mm bolt for that, and that should be it. Lift your alternator right up out of here. Hopefully. Sometimes they need just a little bit of persuasion to get out of there. Just be careful, you're only prying on aluminum here. There we go. All right, there's the old alternator out of the way. I went to my local CarQuest for mine. Definitely not a sponsored video or anything, but my part number is a 7771A. You would want to just compare it and make sure that all the connections and everything are the same on your new one versus your old one. I've already done that, so I know that it's good. And get the new one slid into place. I'm going to start with this long bolt on the bottom. That's going to be the hardest one to get in. There we go. Make sure you can get a couple threads started by hand without any tools. That's going to help ensure you're getting the bolts started straight and not cross-threading them. I'm sure there's a torque spec for these, but good and tight will be tight enough. Again, remember you're only threading this into aluminum, so don't go crazy or you'll strip out the aluminum, and then that'll be the end of the alternator bracket. You'll be spending a bunch more money. That should be just fine like that. Put this ground wire back on the back of the alternator. Again, don't reef on that as hard as you can. And I was wrong, I didn't think this included a new nut, so you got to take the old one off before you put the wire back on. And then we just plug these back in where they were before. Put our positive wire on. Get that nut back on, and while you're tightening this up, hold on to this wire so you don't break this plastic connector if it tries to turn on you. So I was just holding down on that wire. Alright, next thing we have to do is put the belt back on. Which on this vehicle the belt is in, or the belt tensioner is in a crappy spot. Most of the time they're much easier than this to get to, but this one's in a bad spot. And this is definitely one of those jobs where having someone help you hold the belt in place is not a terrible idea. Alright, I'm going to look at the belt routing diagram and get the belt put on, and I'll come back when I'm ready to start it back up. So I mentioned the belt routing diagram. Mine still happens to have the sticker under the hood, but a quick Google search for your vehicle will show you how to route the belt, and then you know how it goes around each pulley, what it goes over or under or around or whatever the case might be. But basically, when you're all said and done, if your belt's not pretty darn tight, you probably don't have it correct. So make sure it's good and snug. Basically, our last step here is to reconnect the battery. Start it up and see what the voltage is. Make sure they're both snug, which they are. Now before you start this up, make sure you got all your tools out of the way, everything out from underneath the hood, because the last thing you want is for your tools to get into the fan or something and cause damage to you or the vehicle. So that should be it. Let's go ahead and crank this up. Much better. Let's go test it with the multimeter. Wonderful. Well, as you can see, really nothing to replacing an alternator on your vehicle. That took about 30, maybe 45 minutes, and probably saved, I don't know, $200 or $300 to get that thing replaced. You do, of course, have to take your old one back to the auto parts store for a core charge. My auto parts store knows me really well, so they don't typically charge me a core because they know I'm going to take it back. But we didn't need very many tools. 13mm, 15mm, 10mm wrenches or sockets, 8mm wrench for the battery connection, and some kind of a little pick or a little tiny prying tool to get those connectors loosened up to be able to pull them off. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully it encourages you to try it on your own vehicle. If you get into any snags or need any help, drop it down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.